Opinion Muridkes funeral lays bare Pakistan's state terror nexus. The funeral of Lashkar-e-Taiba-led terrorists in Muridkes, Pakistan, in May 2025, following India's Operation Sindoor, has ripped apart the veneer of Pakistan's denials about its ties to terrorism. Visuals of coffins draped in the national flag, senior military officers in attendance, and a US-designated terrorist leading prayers have exposed a chilling reality: the Pakistani state's complicity in nurturing terror. This was no ordinary burial, it was a state-sanctioned spectacle glorifying jihadists killed in precise Indian strikes targeting terror infrastructure. The presence of army personnel, police, and civil bureaucrats alongside Let's Hafiz Abdul Rauf, a figure long linked to anti-India operations, confirms what India and the global community have alleged for decades. Pakistan's government, military, and inter-services intelligence ISI are deeply intertwined with terrorist outfits like Let and Jaish-e-Mohammed. GEM. Operation Sindoor, launched in response to the April 2025 Pahalgam attack that killed 26 civilians, struck 9 terror camps, including Let's Muridkes headquarters, a hub for training operatives like Ajmal Kazib of the 2008 Mumbai attacks. Pakistan's claim that the strikes killed civilians crumbled as evidence of military involvement in the funeral surfaced. The brazen display of state support for terrorists raises questions about Pakistan's commitment to counter-terrorism and its role as a supposed ally in global security. This op-ed argues that the Muridkes funeral is a defining moment, exposing Pakistan's institutional backing of terrorism through 4 key revelations: the military's open endorsement, the ISIS logistical support, the government's duplicity on the global stage, and the societal normalization of jihadist ideology. These elements demand a re-evaluation of international policies toward Pakistan, a state that continues to destabilize the region while evading accountability. In the presence of uniformed Pakistan Army personnel at the Muridkes funeral, carrying coffins and saluting fallen-let operatives, is a stark admission of the military's alignment with terrorist groups. Reports indicate senior officers, including those from Punjab's police, attended the funeral of terrorists like Kari Abdul Malik and Abu Jundal, killed in India's strikes. This was not a covert gesture but a public spectacle, with coffins wrapped in Pakistan's flag and state honors bestowed. Such actions contradict Pakistan's official stance of cracking down on terror groups under international pressure, like the Financial Action Task Force FATF mandates. The military's participation signals institutional approval, emboldening groups like Let to operate with impunity. Historically, the army has shielded figures like Hafiz Saeed, Let's founder, who, despite a nominal imprisonment, continues to influence jihadist networks. The Muridkes funeral underscores that the army views these terrorists not as threats but as strategic assets against India, particularly in Kashmir. The ISIS role in sustaining terror groups is well documented, but the Muridkes funeral provides fresh evidence of its logistical backbone. Sources reveal the ISI facilitated training at camps like Muridkes Markaz Taiba, where operatives for attacks like Mumbai 2008 and Pahalgam 2025 were groomed. The funeral's high security, attended by ISI-linked officials, suggests the agency's direct oversight of Let's activities. The ISIS involvement goes beyond passive support. It includes funding, arming, and directing operations, as seen in the Pahalgam attacks planning. The agency's presence at the funeral, alongside Let commanders, indicates a seamless collaboration, with the ISI acting as the glue between the military and terror outfits. This nexus allows Pakistan to maintain plausible deniability while orchestrating cross-border terrorism, a strategy exposed by the brazen Muridkes ceremony. Pakistan's government has long projected itself as a victim of terrorism, seeking international aid and sympathy while covertly supporting jihadist groups. The Muridkes funeral demolishes this facade. While Islamabad denied involvement in the Pahalgam attack and claimed civilian casualties in India's strikes, the state honors accorded to terrorists reveal a different truth. The government's failure to condemn the funeral or arrest Hafiz Abdul Rauf, a globally sanctioned terrorist, exposes its complicity. Past leaders, from Nawaz Sharif to Imran Khan, have admitted to the presence of terror groups on Pakistani soil, yet no meaningful action follows. The funeral, attended by civil bureaucrats, shows the state's tacit approval of Let's ideology. This duplicity undermines Pakistan's credibility in forums like the UN, where it has resisted designations like that of the Resistance Front (TRF) and Let Front. The international community must recognize this double game and impose stricter sanctions. The Muridkes funeral, with its hate-filled slogans like India's destruction is near, reflects a deeper societal issue: the normalization of jihadist ideology in parts of Pakistan. Let's Muridkes complex, disguised as a charitable organization under Jamaat Dawa, runs schools, clinics, and seminaries that indoctrinate youth with anti-India propaganda. The funeral's public nature, with civilians and officials chanting alongside terrorists, indicates how deeply this ideology has penetrated. The state's failure to curb such displays, coupled with the military's endorsement, fosters an environment where terrorism is glorified. This societal acceptance sustains groups like Let and GEM, ensuring a steady supply of recruits. The Muridkes event is a wake-up call for Pakistan's civil society and the global community to address this ideological rot, which threatens regional stability. The Muridkes funeral is a damning indictment of Pakistan's state-sponsored terrorism. It lays bare the military's endorsement, the ISIS operational role, the government's hypocrisy, and the societal embrace of jihadist ideology. These revelations demand a robust international response, tighter sanctions, FATF blacklisting, and diplomatic isolation to pressure Pakistan into dismantling its terror infrastructure. Swipe left for next video. India's Operation Sindoor was a precise strike, but it also exposed the need for a broader strategy to counter Pakistan's proxy war. The global community, particularly the US and UN, must act decisively, recognizing Pakistan not as an ally but as a state that glorifies terrorists with state honors. Failure to do so risks further emboldening a nation that thrives on chaos. The Muridkes funeral is not just Pakistan's shame, it is a challenge to the world's resolve against terrorism. Accountability must begin now. The author teaches journalism at St. Xavier's College Autonomous, Kolkata. His handle on X is Sayantan_GH. Views expressed in the above piece are personal and solely those of the author. They do not necessarily reflect News 18's views. Latest blogs.